Rahim. My dear student, I am into a teacher Fazal Tariq of the subject programming language fundamentals. My dears, we have studied some of the topics and we delivered some lecture on the basic topics in the class. That what is program, what is programming languages, types of languages, and how the program is compiled, compilation process of the program, and then also about the problem definition and how the problem is solved. So these some of the lecture about the algorithms, about the pseudocode. We have discussed some of the things in the class. In the today, the first lecture, online lecture, we will try to overview, or you can say revise that lecture that we have delivered in the class. But that would be a sum up, okay? That 6-7 lecture that we have delivered in the class, we will sum up that in this lecture, okay? So you should just review it. If you feel any problem in those lectures or in this lecture, then you can send me a question in the WhatsApp group in the written form or in the voice message. Then inshallah I will try to answer that question. Clear? So let's start about the programming fundamental languages. So what is basically we have to study in this, we have to make clear the concept about the programming languages. And I told you that, if you do remember, that why it is needed to study about the programming language. It is the need of, and it is the need and cry of the day, that each and everyone should learn about the computer software, about the computer languages, about the computer hardware, because it is the need of the day. No one can now live or survive in this age of digitalization without the knowledge of computer. So therefore, particularly in the maths of computer science, but maths, the subject of computer science, it is very much needed, because there are a number of problems of the computer science that can be solved with the help of computer software, or you can say with the help of computer. So there is a great link between these two subjects, between the mathematics and computer. But we so far this reality is concerned, we said that computer is the base, mathematics is the base of computer. So computer is derived from basically from the mathematics, and all the formulas, equations, and principles mainly are applied of the mathematics in the computer science. So it is a need. It is very helpful. If we learn any language, we can solve any problem of the computer. Why it is needed to study the programming language? So as we have studied that, what is language? Language is source of communication, and computer language is an artificial language by which we can communicate with computer. If we know the language of computer, we can easily communicate with the computer. So therefore we are going to study the language of computer. Okay, so in this lecture, in this subject, the programming language that we will going to learn is C or C++. That will be helpful in the maths throughout the world, that is used for the mathematics to solution of the mathematics problems. So therefore we will study C or C++ in this subject. Okay, so what is program? Program is basically a set of instruction that is designed or written or coded to solve a particular problem. So this is the definition of what? This is the definition of program. What is programming? Programming is basically the name of technique by which the program is written. There are many programming languages in the world, and there are different types of programming languages. We will discuss it further. So let's take first some look of about the computer, and then we will study inshallah something about the computer languages also. Okay, so computer components, the main components of computer is central processing unit, CPU, random access memory or RAM, mass storage devices like hard disk, CD-ROM, and external hard disk, CDs, etc., etc. Similarly, input devices and output devices. We have to input some data by keyboard or mouse or other devices into computer. The computer processes this data. The computer processes data, but for processing, the first data that is entered into computer is stored into RAM, and from the RAM it is loaded into the processor, and when the processor processes the data, then it is sent back to the RAM, and the RAM then, according to the instruction of the user or the system, it sends to the required device where it is needed. It may be output device, it may be storage device, it may be communicated somewhere else on the internet or on the local area network where it is needed can be. So there are many types of input devices, there are many types of output devices by which it can be received or printed. This was something about the hardware. And now what is software? Computer is, though we know that computer is composed of hardware and software, what is software? Software is basically, you can say, a comprised set of instructions that get a computer to perform a task or job. So software is basically the logical unit of computer, and hardware is the hardware is what? It is the physical unit of computer. Logical meaning is conceptual. It is a set of you can say instructions, logical instructions that is designed or that is written a particular sequence to perform some task or job. There are different types of software like application software, the software that is used by the user to solve the human problems like word processor, spreadsheet, painting, engineering, medical, etc. These are all types of software known as application software. And that second type is called system software, the software that is designed to solve the computer hardware problem, the computer software problem, the computer network problem, are called what? System software. The system software, or you can say operating systems. System software consists of the operating system like Windows, etc. It consists of also drivers, translators. There are some types of the system software, and there are some types of the application software as well. So, my dears, this was about what? This was about the computer hardware and computer software. Then, what is programming language? Programming language allow programmer to create software. What is a language? Particularly, what is programming language? Programming language is a tool that is used to code a computer program. Okay? The three major families of languages are machine languages, assembly languages, high level languages. It also categorizes low language level languages, middle level language, and high level language. It is also categorized as this. Machine language is basically low level language. Computer directly understand this language, while the human that is not directly understand this language, but they can learn or they can remember the codes by which it can be designed. For example, we can say that machine language consists of 0 and 1. So 0 and 1, the on and off of the electricity in computer. So computer directly understand this thing, and the combination of these zeros and ones form instruction. The different type of instruction can be designed from it. So that is called machine language. Assembly language is also known as middle level language. Some of the you can say it is also called the mnemonics language. Mean the it comprises of some of the instruction that is understandable to user and some of the instruction that is understandable for human. For example, we can write instruction in assembly language as add 5 comma ax. So this add is basically for addition. This 5 is an integer number, a constant, and it should be stored in and register that is called lx or ax, etc. So it is some the combination of some mnemonics, some human words that is understandable, and some are devices name or register that use it here. So high level language are the language that is understandable for the humans, but that is not directly understandable for the computer. So the computer use translator for the purpose. For this purpose to understand this language, the human write language in high level language because that is easy to code language or write program in this language like C, C++, is VB, Java, etc. These are known as high level languages. So the users write language, Fortran, Pascal, etc. These are all known as high level languages. So it is easy for the computer programmer that can write program in these languages. So we write program in the programming languages, high level programming language, and then the computer will translate this language into the machine language or machine code. The machine understand this language, and it revert back to the high level language again that is understandable to us. So it's mean that translators are needed. So what is translator? Translator is basically a converter that convert high level language to low level language and low level language into high level language. There are different types of translators, as we discussed in the class. If you do remember that it may be an interpreter, it may be compiler, it may be an assembler, it may be an editor. So different types of editor also used for this purpose. So interpreter is a type of translator that translate line by line or translate statement by statement from one language into another language. Where compiler is a type of translator that translate the whole program. When we write the whole program, then then we execute, or then we press the compile, or we'll write compile. So the whole program is compiled from one high level language to low level language. So an assembly language used for the assembler is used for the convergence of an assembly language, and editors are used for the multi types of combination of the multi types of translators. So therefore, take the case of Notepad, case of WordPad, where we write HTML languages, another type of programs, and that is converted into the machine language or other languages. So there are different types of high level languages out here. So it may be categorized as procedural languages, may be categorized as object oriented languages, it may be categorized as structured languages, it may be categorized as component based languages. So these are all the types of high level languages that we can consider here. What is basically procedural language? The focus of such a language is on a sequence of activities to be carried out based on specifying the steps that the program must take to reach the desired state. For example, C, COBOL, Fortran, Lisp, Perl, HTML, and VB script. These are all the procedural languages, or you can say structural languages, that is used to follow a particular steps or procedures to write program and get the desired results. So, what is object-oriented language? About object-oriented language is also known as these are real-world languages. So, as the situation is, as the case is, you can code or you can model the things in this language as it is. So, therefore, we can say programmer code using blueprints of data models called classes, because classes and objects are the real-world entities. All the words is composed of objects, and each and every object is then related to are a set of then some class, for example human class, and we are an object of the human class. There are different types of classes in the world. So therefore object oriented languages is consist of objects and classes. So in the process of compilation, we have already discussed it in the previous discussions. So programming examples, there are different programming languages that can be used to code the required task or job. So as I told you in the start, that programming languages are needed for the human to solve their problems by the computer. Why we use, if someone asks why we use, it is needed to study programming languages, a very simple answer of this question is that we need programming languages to solve our problems by the computer. Okay, so we need the help of computer to solve the problems accurately, quickly, within no time. Okay, so there are different types of programming languages, but the language that we will study here will be called C or C++. So this is the first lecture, and there's later the revision lecture about those all things that we have studied in the last lecture. So we have also have some discussion about, if you do remember, we have also some discussion about the algorithms. That what is algorithm? Algorithm was a step-by-step approach to solve a particular problems, and I shared some of the you can say slides about the algorithms, about the pseudocodes. So that was discussed in detail in the class, but let's have a revision. Then we said that what is the method of writing algorithms. So the first thing, then the reserved word algo, then name of the algorithm, then the variable is, then the description of the algorithm, that for what type we are writing the algorithm, and then step by step approach we will use to solve that problem for which we are going to write algorithms. So algorithm is what? It is a computational, you can say well-defined computational process to solve a problem. Clear? So we have to input something, and then the algo will be some computation, well-defined computation steps, and it will give us some output. So that was called what? That was called algorithm. Okay, and we also have practice on some of the algorithms in the class, if you do remember. Then we have studied something about the pseudocode. It is a language by which we describe openly anything we have described openly in this language, pseudocode language, and then we write it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 forms. That the first thing is this, second thing is this, third. It is the sequence of the of our problem solution, and then it is mean just you can say a very simple description. If you want to describe a problem, then we will describe the problem pseudocode, and anyone else, if that is highly educated or that had an average education, anyone can easily understand. As we talk to someone about in a language like Pashto, Urdu, or English, and they can understand that language easily. So language is understandable, general language is understandable for each and every person in the world. So if we will do this by this way, so the pseudocode is very simple way to write this thing. Then we study about, if you know that, then we study about the flow chart. So what is flowchart? Flowchart is also a pictorial or graphical representation of the logical sequence of the programs. And we said that if you want to represent a logic of the program by a diagram, then we'll use flowchart. Flowcharts also show flow of the programs, that from import, then process, then output, then decision making, and then how it will produce the output. So these all things consist of what that is called flowcharting. So these are some of the things we have discussed in the class. So in the first lecture we revised these all things again, and I also shared the notes of these all topics with you in this WhatsApp group. If you have any question about these all things, then you can without any hesitation you can ask the question in written form or in voice form. Thank you, beta. Thank you. The second lecture will be about then how we write the C++ program. Okay. Thank you, beta. Thank you very much.